Alright guys, we are going to be working on creating a Zentangle today. This is an art form that is typically done as a form of meditation, and normally it is done with a pen or a marker. So it's not something that can be erased, and you just kind of go with the flow of thought. We are going to do it today with a pencil so that it's a little less intimidating for you, and if you need to erase, you can. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start off with a basic shape, something very simple. And I'm going to go ahead and instead of starting in the middle of my paper, I'm going to start off to the side just to give it a little bit of a visual interest. And I'm going to do a spiral that I close off to make a circle. Doesn't have to be perfect. It actually is a lot more interesting if it isn't. I'm going to go back over and make some of those lines thicker than other lines. Draw lightly if you can, so that we can go back over these with Sharpie just to cover up that detail. If you get too dark, even if you go over it with Sharpie, you're going to be able to see the pencil, the graphite, and we don't necessarily want to be able to see the graphite. I'm going to draw dark here today just to give you an example of how to do it, and it's easier to see if I draw it darker than if I draw it light. Alright, so this is my circle. And I just did a spiral and closed it off to make a circle. And then I add on to this. Now you just need to use basic shapes and repeat those basic shapes to create patterns. I will have resources for you that have a ton of different patterns if you would like to, but a lot of times I just kind of mix them together. So we all know Miss Armstrong loves her flowers. And I might start large and then get smaller as I go. Alright, and I might decide, yeah, this is cool, but I always do some type of ridiculously typical flower pattern, so I want to change things up and maybe put something inside of these petals that might be a little unexpected, or maybe put something around them that might be a little unexpected. So I am going to do wavy lines, and then put little circles on top of each of those. Alright, so you see how simple that is? It's not anything at all complicated, nothing complex. And I want you guys to do this if you want to look at your friends' papers to get ideas. If you see that they've got a really cool idea or a really cool pattern, ask them first though before copying them so that they don't get aggravated with you. I don't mind if you help each other that way, and if you share patterns and share ideas. I do, however, mind if that turns into being very loud and yelling. You can do that by talking softly. So this is just a really simple start. Nothing too complex. And I'm changing the height or the length of each of these wavy lines too. So obviously these lines are going to be longer than, say, the lines here in these smaller circles. Now what in the world am I going to do next? Well, I'll go ahead and stick with these round shapes because I've kind of started with a bit of an organic theme here. And this might be a little bit more than some of the guys want to do, because flowers are not necessarily their cup of tea. I'm going to do a curved line there, curved line there. Very simple, guys. If you want to do this do a design with squares and triangles and diamonds and rectangles, you're more than welcome to do that. That's awesome. That will work too. I'll go ahead and repeat that. And then to make a really neat little design in there, I just 2 curved lines, but I'm going to go ahead once I get this last one drawn, and I'm going to go back And with each thing I draw, guys, I just kind of look at where it's taken me. Okay? And right now I haven't figured out a way to incorporate a square or a diamond yet, but to show you a little bit more geometric and less organic. But when I figure that out, that's exactly what I will show you. All right. So I have that leaf there, and I want to draw it again. I want to make sure that I draw it from the same side, just because I like to keep my weights even though my sizes are changing. That helps with that pattern. All right. So see how it's starting to grow? It's starting to fill my page a little bit. And of course this one is going to be a little bit smaller. Do this right here. Now if you look, you'll notice that all of these little leaf-like looking things here aren't all exactly the same. And they don't have to be exactly the same. The purpose of Zentangles is just kind of relax and see where your art takes you. Now if you make a mistake, since you're working with pencil, you can erase it. If we were doing this in pen, we wouldn't have that option to erase it. So we would just take it and play with it and see where it will take us. Alright, so this definitely still has some more to do. Actually, I can, you know what? Remember I told you I was going to try to figure out how to add some more geometric shapes for the guys? There we go. I think I got it, guys. And that just kind of makes it look a little bit so guys, I'm not expecting you to copy me right now. You have a whole sheet of resources of different types of patterns that you can make, that you can fill inside of these shapes that I'm drawing, or that you can put them inside of shapes that you want to draw. I really just want you to have fun creating your own little interesting Zentangle here, okay? That is the goal here today. Experiment, see what you come up with, and work on filling the whole page. All right, so I have a good portion of my page covered right now, but it's not filled. Remember when we did our op art, how one of the projects that we did was the curved lines to make the object look rounded? I'm gonna go ahead and do that here, just to kind of make these guys look a little less flat. Try to create a little bit of an illusion there, okay? Make it look a little more interesting. And I am trying to, even though I have an eraser and I'm working with pencil, so I can erase if I make a mistake, I'm trying not to. I want to pretty much go with what I draw, and if I make a mistake, continue on doing that. I don't want to erase if I don't have to, because it's a little bit more fun and a little bit more challenging if we don't erase and we figure out how to work with what we've created so far. All right, so this is where I am right now. I am going to add a few more things to it, but I'm going to stop here because I want you guys to have the time to work and not have to worry about watching me. So go ahead and continue working. When you have your whole page filled, you may get a black Sharpie and trace right over top of these lines. Draw right over top of them. Make sure you do it neatly. Once you've finished covering it with black Sharpie, we will clean it up with some of the white erasers. If you don't get it finished today, that's not a big deal. We can always clean it up and finish it when I come back. Take your time, because this is a piece that you might really like and you might prefer to put in the art show, okay? All right, have fun.